Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about why food is so expensive and why so many people can't afford to put food on their plates. But before we get into that, I just want to give a quick update or a bit of a summary for my new viewers. In these type of videos, I do cash stuffings each week and then I talk about whatever topics I find interesting or whatever topics I think may be helpful for my viewers. On this channel, I also do cooking, grocery hauls, and all that stuff, but I do post these financy videos once a week. So guys, I recently watched a news video. Like, you know how you guys can see like Channel 7 news videos on YouTube? Well, there was a video where there was like a local fruit and veg shop, like a greengrocer, and they were selling onions for like 60 or 70 cents a kilo. Carrots were like 69 cents a kilo. um Beetroot was under $1 a kilo from memory. Even bananas were 49 cents a kilo at this local grocer, and mind you, this video was posted yesterday, I believe, and I was absolutely shocked because when I go to Coles and Woolies, I'm paying $4 a kilo for bananas. At some point I was paying $5 a kilo for bananas, and I just thought that, maybe because inflation and like the cost of transport is high, that's why everything has increased in price, because that's what Coles and Woolies tell us when I read articles that have been written by Coles and Woolies. And then I'm seeing videos about local greengrocers selling bananas for 49 cents. So that makes me think, well, this isn't really inflation. It's not really the cost of fuel either. Because if the greengrocer can sell bananas at 49 cents a kilo, why am I paying $4 a kilo for bananas at Coles and Woolies? Like, something is not making sense to me. Just a quick insert, guys. I'm going to continue talking about that, but I wanted to explain this first. So I normally give myself $100 recreation every week, and I actually wanted to cut back on that because I don't think it's necessary for me to spend that much. So I've created this little savings challenge, and I've crossed off the $40 number this week. So out of the $100, I'm taking $40 out to put into my savings. Therefore, my recreation for this particular week has decreased down to about $60. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So guys, back on topic in regards to like the pricing of the greengrocer I was talking about earlier, don't quote what I say because on my channel, I just share videos based on my opinion only. Go and research it yourself so you can actually see the data. If you're really interested, just type in YouTube, greengrocer reveals how much we really should be paying for fruit and veg. And the video is produced by A Current Affair, I believe. So just type that into YouTube and have a quick watch. On another note, I did want to mention that not all greengrocers are selling prices that competitive. It could just vary depending on the store and where you're located. And I'm based in Sydney, so I'm well aware that the cost of living in Sydney is a little bit higher compared to other states around the country. But there's still supermarkets like greengrocers in Sydney that are significantly cheaper compared to your Coles and Woolies. Just bear in mind, I have noticed that little greengrocers that are in big shopping malls next to Coles and Woolies aren't really price competitive. A lot of the time, I see they're probably only $1 cheaper than Coles and Woolies. Sometimes they're not cheaper at all. So I've actually started to branch out a little bit and go to the fruit markets or little fruit and veg shops that aren't in like big shopping malls on the weekend, because I have time on the weekend to go around, walk around, shop around, and my fruit and veg bill is significantly cheaper compared to what I would get for the same amount of money at Coles and Woolies. So if you watch my grocery hauls and follow along with me, you would have noticed the past maybe month or month and a half, I've started to buy most of my veggies from like the markets, the local greengrocers, because it's a lot cheaper. Every now and then I still do buy like bits and pieces of fruit and veg at my Coles and Woolies if it's convenient, or like if they have better sales that particular week. But a lot of the time I'm starting to buy the bulk of my veggies, my fresh veggies, at like Paddy's or like a local greengrocer market. Just make sure it's not in a big shopping mall, because just keep in mind they're not as price competitive. If you have one that is price competitive that's in a big shopping mall, then go ahead. That would be a bonus for you. Now, just keep in mind, guys, I live in Sydney, so often there's a lot of shops nearby, so I can afford to walk a little bit further to see what prices they're offering. But if you're living in an area where you have to travel quite far to see what prices are being offered, you will need to consider that as an expense. Is it worthwhile, one, for you to pay for the fuel to travel to compare prices? Two, is it worth your time? So just weigh up everything that I've said and do what's best for your family. I also watched another like documentary type thing. I think it was like a reporter interviewing Coles and Woolies, both CEOs at Coles and Woolies, and they said that Coles and Woolies take up 65% of the market in Australia. I think that was the stats. Just cross check that. Don't quote me on it. You know what? Let me go and find that video to share with you guys so you can watch it yourself. So, guys, I just had a quick look. The video is called The Cost of Living with Coles and Woolworths. So, just hop onto YouTube, type that title in, and the video should pop up. The video falls under the channel called ABC News In Depth. They were sharing a lot of data that I actually wasn't aware of myself. And I think Aldi, the supermarket Aldi, takes up 10% of the market. So I had no idea that Coles and Woolworths had such power within that supermarket space. So I personally think we need more competition in Australia with supermarkets. That way, consumers would be getting more competitive prices for their groceries. I understand businesses need to be making a profit to function, obviously, but I don't think that it's ethical for them to say, oh, they've increased prices because of inflation. And that's their excuse, even though people can't afford to eat, yet they had 1.5 or 1.6 billion dollars in profit. I think that was Woolies. Again, don't quote me on it. Research it, find your own data. But at the top of my head, those are the numbers that come to mind. It's just like, yep, businesses need to have a profit, but do you need to have that much of a profit when people are struggling to eat? And I think the thing that irks me the most is whenever they're interviewed, their excuse is always like, cost of living's high, transport's high, and then I hear farmers are getting paid so low to a point where they're at a loss. So if farmers are getting paid low, consumers are getting overcharged, everybody's losing but the supermarket chains. And even though I'm so frustrated by the news I just learned, where else am I going to shop? Like, it's like I don't have a choice to shop anywhere else. There's Coles, there's Woolies, it's everywhere. Like, we don't really have any other options for Australians to buy their groceries from. So that's the tricky thing. Another concern of mine is probably a month or two ago, I saw this news article that said that every day mum and dads are taking out loans to pay for groceries. So I think it's called like Afterpay or Zip Pay or something like that. And that's really concerning that people need to take out mini loans to pay for food. I also just wanted to provide a little update for you guys, slightly off topic, but I still think it's important for you guys to know. Um, Rain checks. So if you're not familiar with a rain check, Coles and Woolies used to offer rain checks. Woolies no longer offers that. So for example, if there was a box of cereal that's $6 that's on sale for $3, so half price, if I go into store and there's none left, I used to be able to get a rain check both at Coles and Woolies because there's no stock available. So even once that sale ends, that rain check will allow me to go into store to purchase that product at the sale price for up to a month. Now, Woolies no longer offers that. I think I saw it on their website for my local store. It might be the same for all stores, so just make sure you do your own research. But I think my Coles still do offer rain checks. So keep that in mind because that is a little tip that can help save so much money off your grocery bill. But bear in mind, now that opportunity for me is only offered at Coles. And make sure you guys research their product policies as well. So, an example would be I went to Woolies the other day and I scanned a product that scanned incorrectly. So, it was on sale, but it scanned up full price. And then I told the customer service people, oh, look, this isn't scanned right. It was supposed to be on sale. And the girl told me, oh, okay, let me just fix that for you. And I was like, oh, no, hun, you actually have a policy at Woolies that if it's scanned incorrectly, you need to give me the product for free. Like the policies on your website. And she said, oh, no, we don't have that anymore. And I said, yes, you do. It's on your policy. And she's like, oh, no, we don't have that anymore. And I had to push back again saying, oh, you still do have that policy. Can you please go check with your manager? And when the manager came and I said, this is on your website, and I brought my phone up to show them, they were like, oh, yeah, we still do. Okay. And then she fixed it and I ended up getting the product for free. But bear in mind, I had to push back a few times to get that product, even though it's their policy that's on their website. The first girl told me they don't offer that policy anymore and they no longer do it. But clearly that wasn't correct information because it's still on their website, and in the end I did get my product for free. But that's just another reminder for you guys to do your own research. Don't be afraid to push back when you need to.